You know what? I was just talking and didn't realize I was muted. So if you're now just jumping on, let me repeat what I just said because I didn't realize I was actually muted. Right now we are waiting on Sam Deloach and Bill Lancaster. Um, they're having some minor technical difficulties. They're actually installing plugins that's actually required to be a part of a live podcast. And Sam just messaged me asking for um, the link to join in live again. So I'm sending that to him right now. All right, there we go. He's got that. Bill Lancaster will be on soon. They all have the link. Tell you what, let me see something here. I'm going to try to do something here a little easier for Sam if I can. Let me try to. I'm going to re-enter there's two different ways of sending or inviting people in here live. All right, let's try this again. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time jumping on a live podcast, feel free to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Just the first time for everything. And how about letting this YouTube channel, E.C.B.R.O. 98, be the first for you? Stay up to date with our our live podcast shows, live streaming, field videos, and so forth. Meanwhile, anybody that's just now jumping on, please be patient while we wait on Sam Deloach and Bill Lancaster from the M.E.C.R.O team, and also Bilko Productions. So sit tight for a little bit. I don't have no music for you guys to listen to. All right, tell you what, I could talk with you guys while we're live. Let me go open up the live chat through my phone here. All right. See if there's see who's on the live chat. All righty. Yeah, all right. We got the live chat opened up right now. Let's see. We got Tracy Arnold, Sasquatch Outlaw. That's right. If you have not subscribed to Tracy Arnold's YouTube channel, you need to go to YouTube channel Sasquatch Outlaw and subscribe. When you subscribe, don't forget the little bell icon, or you won't get a notification when he posts the upload. Stephen Moore, how you doing from North Carolina? Great to have you. Let's see. Hey, Dave Thundercloud's on. How you doing, man? He said, "Rock the music." Well, I don't have no music. Not right now. I'm trying to communicate with Sam. Sam is having technical difficulties. Let me remind him that I just sent the invite to his page again. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. Here. Oh, hey there. Is that you, Sam?
Hold on, buddy. I think I'm with you.
I was just messaging you. Yeah, all right. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Sam is just now jumping on.
You probably won't be able to see me, but, you can still hear me.
Oh, yeah, I can actually see your face all right.
Cool.
Like Sasquatch, hiding in the shadows, as always. All right,
Man,
let
that's
me
hilarious.
Open up the live chat here. We had some people jumping on the live chat. Hey, welcome on. We got Bill Lancaster. Awesome.
Hey, man, I finally made it on.
All right, very cool. Yeah, that plug-in is a pain in the butt. I remember back when I used to have to do that.
I had to I had to go through Google Chrome to get it to work. It won't work on my regular, and I mean, I'm on Windows 10. So anyways, it was
Oh,
one of those, it shows that evidently Google Hangout is an older program or something. And anyways,
yeah.
but you see me good, we're good and everything. Are we live now, or are we just hanging
Oh,
out?
yeah. We're actually live right now. Yeah. What I did before you guys jumped on, I went ahead and hit live, just in case, because people wondering, and we actually have viewers on there. I got the live chat opened up on my phone right now, so and
Good deal.
Okay.
yeah. So if anyone has any questions, anything they want to ask for Sam or Bill, um, feel
Sam up
free. The
here?
live chat. Yeah,
Yes.
Sam's hiding in the shadows there.
Oh, okay. There you go. So briefly explain here. I don't need to do anything other than talk. I don't click on none of these E.C.B.R.O. Mountain Empire, do
No, you don't
No,
have to
you're
click on
good.
none.
I? Okay. All right, cool.
No, yeah. Usually, whoever's speaking, of course, their photo will show up large on your screen. If you want to keep their icon of their profile enlarged the whole time, if you click on the bottom where it's showing them on little squares
Yeah.
on your lower right hand corner, which it shows on mine.
All right.
Yeah, if you click on it, it'll leave it enlarged the whole
All
time.
right.
So
But I guess whenever I'm talking,
yeah.
folks can see me, or you bring it up.
Oh yeah, they can see you.
All right, good.
Yeah,
I'll leave it up to you then.
no problem. Um, Now I know you guys. You guys just finished up in a pretty interesting and big event, and that I do regret that I was unable to attend myself. Um, I was wondering if you guys like to talk about that a little bit and kind of fill everybody in what took place and how that turned out for you guys.
Sure. Sam, you want to go first, or you want me?
Go ahead there.
All righty.
And
No,
before you talk, sometimes what I do, I have a habit. If you see me mute myself, sometimes it helps. It ensures that there's no interference between speakers. So right now, I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself and go ahead. You got the floor.
all right, man. No, this was this was a really good event. This thing started out from a podcast I did with Dr. John Stamey on his Comic Con Stars, and I think it was after the second podcast I did, and I was talking about my Cultured Bigfoot documentary. He called me, and bless his heart, was on the phone for gosh, 2.5 hours or so after we got done, and was all crazy about wanting to do this Bigfoot Day thing. And he had gotten online and bought BigfootDay.com and kind of just started the wheels rolling. And anyways, I had gotten my good friend Sam involved there in hooking up with Dr. John there, and subsequently we turned it into basically a M.E.C.R.O. I guess Sam led a M.E.C.R.O led kind of an event thing, and because basically Sam, bless his heart, ended up running the thing and setting the speakers up and all that stuff like that, but it just kind of evolved. And Dr. John got a hold of Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, and they were very receptive to it. The city of Kingsport was. Kingsport Times News ran an awesome article and everything, and it just kind of took off. This is the first time they've ever done anything like that down there, and to my knowledge, it's the first time they've ever done anything like this in the area. And I think we had like 75 or 80 the first day and had over 300 the second day of it. We were able to get all of the basically the core members of M.E.C.R.O there Saturday, including Sasquatch Outlaw himself, Tracy Arnold, and we were all able to speak. And honestly, we had some great interaction. The folks that were listening were really into the information that was being shared. And I know I got some new friends and new friend requests and new likes and new views and everything. We ended up getting a surprising thing, and I guess it's just because I'm not used to doing this, but we ended up having a lot of folks coming up and sharing encounters both days. And Sam, being the head honcho there, is smart enough to write down the information to the folks that are willing to give information and details, names and numbers and everything. And he's got us set up for quite a few new field investigations. And it sounds like between what we had going into this and what we got the 2 days, we've got enough to make another full season of Bigfoot BS with Bill and Sam. And
Wow.
and the thing that was surprising to me is that we've got a lot of sightings that were right here in my backyard that I had never heard of. Everyone's heard of the Gum Hill Wood Booger because it was on the season 2 Virginia's for Bigfoot Lovers, Finding Bigfoot. And that literally, Daniel, is Gate City Highway is like 2 exits down from me. And you go probably 15 minutes from there, and I can take you right to the spot where that video was filmed. As a matter of fact, that's a spot that we used to go four-wheeling, and we used to go hiking back in there. So I've been back in there quite a bit when you weren't even supposed to be, and you technically still aren't supposed to be in a lot of it. But I never seen any kind of a Bigfoot or wood booger, but it's definitely the spot that you would find something like that. And then we got some reports and encounters and sightings, and I won't give details, but basically they were in the Holston Mountain, Holston Lake, Holston River area, exactly where I have been deer hunting. I don't get to go anymore, but deer hunted for years. And some of them were, where I've camped at. And when I was deer hunting, I had a bear try and come up a tree stand with me, and I had a bobcat scare the crap out of me one morning, come running down the path at me. But I never, at that time, was thinking of any kind of a Bigfoot, dog man, any kind of cryptid. And I honestly, and even my wife were talking about it yesterday, after I was telling her about all these folks that were sharing their encounters. And there were, I don't know, Sam can tell you, but there were at least 3 that were right in the area I used to hunt at. And I told her, I said, you remember me telling you about that time that I was hunting? And it was, we were the kind of people, and Daniel, because I believe you're a hunter, and you hike in before sun up, and basically you get in your spot, your stand, wherever you're at, and you're sitting there waiting for sun come up, and then right before sun goes down, you get out of the woods. I kind of, at this point, I think it's for a reason. They're wanting us out of there because there's too much weird crap going on. But anyways, I mean, because honestly, I had a 30-30 with me, and had a big Smith & Wesson knife on my H harness and ass pack and everything, and I was ready for whatever come at me. But I never thought about anything like this being in there. But I literally had one time was sitting there waiting. The sun had just come up, and you can call it fog, but we were up on the mountain, and it basically was a cloud coming across the top of the mountain from Shady Valley going across over to the South Holston Lake side. And I was sitting on one of those little tripod stands that you just kind of pop out, and you barely can fit your butt on it and just sit wherever you want to. And I was one of those doing the, how you'll make a complete turn with your gun and your body, and was just going back and forth. And I literally was, you couldn't see 3 feet ahead of you. And I turned like this one time, and something was off of my back, and it was the color of a deer, but it had thick fur. And I described to Amy like you would find on an Alaskan Husky, you know, like around their neck and how they got that fur that's, you know, real plush and long about like that. It looked like you could put your fingers into it. Well, anyways, I turned around and that was that far off of my back, and I spun all the way around and stood up, and it was gone. And the weird thing was, whatever it was big enough that me sitting down, I'm about 4 feet, and all I was seeing was fur. So whatever it was big. I assumed it was a bear, a deer, something like that. But you know how deer, their fur is real close to their skin, kind of like my dog that's a bully breed, you know. So it wasn't a deer. And bear, we have black bear up there, and I would have known as a black bear. Anyway, so after all of this stuff and hearing all these things, me and Amy were rehashing it, and I said, it's hard to tell what that was. The thing that was so weird about that was that I never heard a thing. And you know how it is. Your senses are heightened when you're out there hunting. And I never heard a thing, man. And all of a sudden it was there. And when I spun around, it was gone. Still didn't hear a thing. Didn't hear nothing taking off through the top of the hill. I was sitting in that tall, you know, grass, the golden kind of almost looked like a wheat or something. You know, it was about this high here. That's what I was sitting in on the side of a hill. And the thing was I was probably about 200 yards from the top of the mountain, and the Appalachian Trail runs across it. And between me and the Appalachian Trail was an old foundation for a house and an apple orchard. So you go figure. But anyways, that I kind of got off on that. But
no, you're fine.
After hearing these other folks talk about these encounters, and I'm like, you know, kind of telling Sam afterwards, dude, that's where I hunted at, and dude, that's right down the road from where I hunted at, and dude, that's right where I camped at, and this and that and the other. It was kind of wild, but anyways, we you know, it ended up being really good. Of course, you know, everybody at this point knows I'm doing my Cultured Bigfoot documentary, and me and Sam are doing the Bigfoot BS. And I had a lot of good stuff happen. I had the folks from Kingsport Times News come and do basically a Facebook Live interview, which they posted up, a little 2-part interview about why we were there and what I was doing. I got lucky enough to have the local NBC affiliate, WCYB, come by, and they wanted to talk to me about what I was doing, and it was a decent little interview, and it looked like about 5 seconds of it made it on TV. But anyways, that was fine. And then I had on the way up there, and I guess I can go ahead, that Sam knows and the other guys do, and I'll be posting a link up to it, but I'd never heard of these guys. But on the way up there Saturday, I had a Facebook message, and I just assumed it was Sam and them. Hey, where you at? And this, that, and the other. And it was the guys from the Cave Crew on Sirius XM radio, and somehow they had found out about what I was doing. And and this Thursday night at 9 o'clock, I'm going to be doing the show with them, talking about my cultured Bigfoot. Now it's kind of a not really a PG-13 kind of thing, it sounds like, and it's got a lot of humor in it and everything. And so I'm sure the Bigfoot guy will get picked on and whatnot, and I'll have to, you know, kind of go with it. But anyways, but that was kind of neat because I was like, well, I don't even have Sirius radio anymore since Pandora. But anyways, I thought that was kind of neat, and I just had a conversation with him earlier, and we're actually going to talk more about it tomorrow night. But anyway, so there was a lot of really good stuff, and then I'll let Sam tell more about what come out of you know, a couple other events that have been created since this happened, and the success of it and everything. But it was really great. We had a lot of really receptive folks that you really didn't, and I think Sam will echo it, you didn't really expect to have the people go through like they did. And I mean, I can speak for myself. I didn't get to sit in on the other talks because I was working my table, but the folks that were listening to the talks were listening, except for the babies crying and the kid hacking his head off coughing. They were they were really into it, and I had several of them come up to me and tell me afterwards they really appreciated it. They were going to check it out. I had several of them pre-order DVDs of the movie and whatnot. It was a really good event, and we all had a good time because basically between two tables, me and Tracy were at one, and then we had Matthew and JD Lawson, Matthew Delph and JD Lawson between us, and Charlie Lawson and Sam. We had our whole kind of core crew there, and it was pretty cool because it was basically a M.E.C.R.O led event as far as the speaking and the seminar and everything, and it turned out really good. And I think a lot of folks, I got messages and whatnot through different outlets I had shared it on, that they appreciated our, I guess, believability and no nonsense. They could tell we weren't trying to act like we've seen something we didn't. We were upfront and honest, and and I think that kind of pays off, and is sometimes unexpected. They expect every one of us, when they ask us to say, "Have you seen one?" and go, "Oh yeah, I've shook his hand and had lunch with him. We sat down at camp and had beanie weenies or something," But there's none of us really like that. And then each of the guys, they all had really something to bring to it. With several of them have had encounters, including Tracy and Matthew Delph, and they shared theirs. And then Charlie Lawson had some great information on basically kind of a tribal Bigfoot, kind of a Native American perspective and whatnot. And Sam is just he won't admit it, but the man's a wealth of knowledge just on surroundings and encounters and whatnot. And he was just like, I know way too much about Star Wars and useless knowledge. Well, he was able to put all of that Bigfoot and that mushrooms and deciduous forest and most widely known fern in the United States. He was able to put every bit of that stuff that he's good at and knows to use. And I think we came away making a good impression on a lot of folks. So anyways, I think I rambled on enough there for a little bit, and I'll shut up and let Sam kind of take over there.
Well, I wanted to jump in there real quick.
Yeah, you jump in.
Before Sam takes on, we have several viewers on, and I was hoping maybe just if you want to give us a quick rundown for those who may not be familiar with cultured Bigfoot and what you guys are working on.
Okay.
I was wondering if you could give us a little rundown. We got people from Ireland here and all over the country on here right now.
All right. Well, I'll give you the quick little plug. I think I ran through it about 1 million times this weekend. Basically, we are E.C.B.R.O Productions. We're a husband and wife team, myself and Amy. She is the writer, and I basically do everything else, the filming and everything. She's done some of the interviews. Anyways, we're making a movie on the community and the culture of Bigfoot. One of the things is we moved from armchair researchers to actually being involved in it was we were fascinated getting to know folks like Sam and like yourself and Tracy and whatnot, and the community that existed, and how this community out there exists heavily in social media, online, and blog talk and podcast and stuff like this. And basically how folks like yourself were filling that gap where scientists like Bendernagel and Meldrum could only go so far because they are just, who they are. And sometimes they don't get taken serious, and other guys like them get ridiculed for it and get funding and grants pulled and everything. And so you have the civilian researchers, scientists that fill that gap. And so basically we wanted to show that there's a community from, PhDs down to high school janitors, to salesmen, to architects, to factory workers to self-employed folks, and yet they can all come together at one of these conferences or whatnot, or on a website or on a blog talk radio or something, and they will talk about something that a lot of the world denies and ridicules. And the demographic was just absolutely fascinating. And so we wanted to show something different. We didn't want to chase glow sticks in the woods and have night vision stuff and everything. We wanted to kind of explore the folks in it and what they also thought about it if they'd had some encounters, but really what they thought of the community and the culture and how it's accepted, how it's not accepted, and everything. And so that's what you're going to get. And basically, since March, myself and Amy have interviewed about 25 different folks. I mean, from Cliff and Bobo to Jeff Meldrum, to Lauren Coleman, to Tracy Arnold, to Sam Deloach, to Michael Cook, to, I mean, you name it. We've went from the ones that everybody knows to the ones that nobody knows except folks like us in these, you know, hangouts and communities and everything. And anyways, we've put it up on, I've got a Facebook page, Cultured Bigfoot, and also Bilko Productions has a Facebook page. You can follow along there and see everything about it. And you can, of course, go on Darth Bill 68, my YouTube channel, and I have all the videos, including non-Bigfoot stuff there. And while we were doing this, and me and Sam were getting to know each other better, he had an encounter, a guy that had gotten hold of him about an encounter, and he wanted to know if I wanted to go out and see if we could talk to the guy and everything and go to his sighting. And so me and my wife were excited to go squatching for the first time. I've been hunting but never squatching, so we went with Sam to shoot some B-roll, and we did Jeff Wells' interview right at his site, which was awesome. We went to where a man's actually seen one of these creatures.
You got to experience hard owls acting like monkeys.
Oh, yeah. See, and that was the thing, too. And this is one of those things I appreciate about Sam and his no-nonsense approach was right off the bat, I've got my headphones on and got my camera and my shotgun mic, and we're down in a swag, and it was in spring because the trees weren't fully filled in yet. And I'm sitting there going, oh, my God, are you all hearing this? And I said, man, you'll even hear in the video that I've shared with folks, it sounded like monkeys chattering back and forth or getting mad at each other and whatnot. And I immediately got chills. And I'm like, you're freaking kidding me. We're out here squatching for the first time, and I am hearing Bigfoot in the mountain. Well, Sam burst my bubble and just kind of laughed. And he said, that's a barred owl. And I was like, what? And but it showed you right there how you need to be out there and you need to be able to figure out the stuff that can be misidentified, and, you know, finding, you know, double bear footprints that can really look like a big old footprint. And when you get to really looking at it, you can see the claws and it's a double foot, you know. But anyway, so that was kind of neat. But while we were doing that, we got to do that interview with Jeff Wells, and all of a sudden, I told Sam, I said, well, I got him to sign a release. I'll figure out a way to put this up on YouTube. And I said, we'll just on a whim, I said, we'll put it out there as a pilot episode and call it Bigfoot BS with Bill and Sam, because Bill and Sam, and it was catchy. And then it took off. And, you know, we ended up having a pilot episode and 9 episodes and 1 2-part episode. So we actually had 12 episodes, and I had folks all the way from the United Kingdom responding to it, subscribing to it. I went from, you know, 6 or 7 years of having 4 subscribers to my channel, and most of them were my wife and family, to, you know, over 100 subscribers. And then after we got done with our Bigfoot BS, that little thing had, you know, Lord, it's getting close to 4,000 views between all the episodes now. And so that was kind of just we were doing that as kind of honing our skills and practicing, and something to kind of be involved in. And it was, honestly, it was me and Sam just kind of, you know, growing our friendship and everything. I don't want to sound all, mushy, but it was kind of us getting to know each other, and basically it was. That's why I ended up hanging out and staying with Sam so much, because I found out he wasn't willing to make stuff up, and even when the wool got pulled over his eyes, he was ready to just, we called it out, and we changed one of the episodes completely. I think it was episode 2, pulled it and put a disclaimer and everything, and we were trying to show our integrity. We're not we'd give anything if that thing would step out in front of my fancy camera while we're out there.
Oh, yeah.
But we're not willing to make it up, because we don't want to be those kind of guys. So anyways, and I've said, when me and my wife are into this because it's fun, it's enjoyable, it gets you to put the phone down and get out from the computer and get outside and everything. And I've said, when this stops being fun, we're not going to be a part of it. We'll still do it, but we won't be a part of the community, because we've been in it, unfortunately, long enough to see that there is something we didn't know about Bigfoot drama, and we're trying to stay neutral and stay out of that, because we're trying to make a movie about the community, and I don't want my movie to end up having a final chapter that basically says, yeah, and there's a bunch of people out there ready to, shove dirt over you and bury you, but anyways, I think I kind of hit it all there. So,
well, Bill, I think I'm thinking in 2018, you might have some more episodes in the making. You're waiting for you at the E.C.B.R.O's first annual Virginia Bigfoot Conference next year. So maybe you'll be able to interview some of the guest speakers up there.
There you go. There you go. There you go, man.
And for the listeners and viewers, your YouTube channel is Darth Bill 68.
Yep. I'm a Star Wars fan, and I was born in '68, so that tells you how old I am. So it should be easy to find. Darth Bill 68 YouTube channel, and Facebook, Cultured Bigfoot,
All right,
and Bilko Productions.
All right, and then I just posted it on the live chat. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There's a new YouTube channel for you guys to subscribe to, Darth Bill 68, all one word. So thank you for that, Bill. And looking forward to more episodes as well. So
yeah, man.
Sam, what do you got going on?
Me?
Certainly.
All right. Well, Bill kind of said everything. The only thing that I'd like to say is thank you to Bays Mountain Park for hosting this event at a great location, and couldn't ask for better folks to help us out. We did learn a lot around, when you're putting these things on, to make sure that you have all the equipment that you need there. We did learn that. We did learn, we just had a great time. I mean, Bill really said it all. The really cool thing was, I think the biggest star of the whole deal was Billy the Bigfoot. I think he walked away with over 500 some pictures that people took with him. So yeah, which is really neat. So, and the greatest moment of the whole deal was, we had a little Bigfoot that came in from Granger County, Tennessee, down near Knoxville, and that was really cool. And he was able to actually get on the news as well. So that was really neat. It was a great family-oriented event where we got to talk to a lot of people. I will give away one thing that Bill will remember this guy talking to us. Family-oriented. We had, is everything okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was some interference, but go ahead.
Okay. So the best encounter or the most interesting, maybe not the best, but maybe the most interesting, we actually had one man give us some hair, but unfortunately he didn't use gloves to take it off of the tree, but we're actually going to interview him. But this one guy actually, this happened on Roan Mountain, Tennessee, and he was laying in his bed in his bedroom of the evening and getting ready to go to bed, and he didn't have his CPAP machine near him. and something reached inside his window and covered his mouth. And he said when he felt of the arm, it had long hair, and the hand felt like a rubber glove. And the guy's pretty credible. You know, I talked to him for quite amount of time and really got his backstory. So that's going to be one episode coming up. But that, I mean, it was people like that. I tell you, more than anything, we got 14 sighting reports from people. Now, they may not all be credible, but 14 sighting reports in 2 days from folks that we would have never in a million years. I'm telling you, Daniel, I never would have expected the turnout that we got. We were very blessed, the turnout we got, and all the people were super nice. We did have two folks in the audience that did not believe in Bigfoot, my mother and father, but I knew that was going to. That was pretty interesting. But other than that, we had a great time. March 10th, we are holding our first, and this is through Dr. John Stamey, is holding the first Mountain Empire Bigfoot Conference.
Nice.
So, yes, we will be looking for speakers for this conference. So keep that in mind.
This is coming up when?
March
March 10th next year, yeah.
28th.
At the Renaissance Center. March 10th next year at the Renaissance Center in Kingsport, Tennessee. It's a really nice place. I've actually been there. I was in a photography contest there, and it's an old school. It's an old school that's been converted, and it's sharp, and it's got I'm going to guess at least a 300-seat theater in it. It's sharp, so it'll be a nice venue.
Yeah, and we're excited to be able to come up in June for the first annual E.C.B.R.O. Virginia Bigfoot Conference. That's going to be great. So we're looking forward to that. But that's. I mean, Bill touched on everything that I couldn't say anymore. He did a great job. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. I really appreciate y'all's information that you guys have thrown out there, and as far as very informative. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of exciting stuff going on here in the Bigfoot community in general. And here with the E.C.B.R.O, it seems like, with the conference coming up next year that we have for the E.C.B.R.O's first annual Virginia Bigfoot Conference, June 30th and July 1st, we basically get all our lineup of speakers. And, there was one of them that we recently just picked up. I'm waiting on some information in a bio from him, which I will tell you. This guy, he is a professor from out of North Carolina State University, and he will be one of our speakers giving a presentation. And I can't really get into detail until I get more information. Our conversation with this guy on the phone, and this is a gentleman who reached out to me, and he likes what we're doing. He likes how we're trying to approach it, and he wants to basically kind of help guide us along, and everyone else who's involved with the Bigfoot research that's willing to take it into a scientific approach with protocol and so forth, and basically trying to do things the right way, and that way evidence could be more accepted. He's getting down to, again, he's a very incredible individual. I've done research on him myself. Again, I'll be posting that very soon. For those who are not familiar, who have not been following our list of speakers, which they're all the announced speakers are on our E.C.B.R.O. first annual Virginia Bigfoot page on Facebook. If you go to the Evan Bright Ticket website, actually I have the list of everybody on there, which that might spoil it. But everybody that's confirmed is on there. I will say that much.
I'm going to go look the list up right now and share it.
Well, I'm directing people there so they can buy their tickets, because right now, till January, tickets are half price. Tickets are only $20 a person. So I highly recommend everybody taking advantage of the tickets while they're half price, because as of January, when January hits, they do double in price. And the event, as far as vendors, we have several vendors. It's going to be exciting. Food vendors, we got Sooners Barbecue out of Stewart's Draft, Virginia. They'll be our main food vendor. We'll have a bake sale going on there. I can't confirm it yet, but I will share this. I was just recently contacted by someone I reached a long time ago, but the owner themselves contacted me out of Chaos Mountain Brewing Company. Yep, they may be there on site. Yep, serving Squatch ale. So,
Can you put us at a table beside them?
Yeah. Our vendor
I might be able
table.
to arrange that.
I like me some craft beer, that's for sure.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've actually tried the beer for the first time just a few weeks ago. Drink it cold. I will say that much. Drink it cold. It's not bad. Just drink it cold. But yeah, it's pretty good stuff. I mean, as far as I know, that's probably pretty much the main thing they will be serving. I don't know if they'll have an option. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm waiting on further information because the lady.
Well, if all you have to drink is beer, that's fine. I don't know. You need another option. That'll probably help the conference.
Well, I'm sure the barbecue vendor, they're gonna have drinks and stuff. I'm sure. So yeah, we'll have other drinks there. So yeah, I mean, it's getting exciting. What we got to look forward to, and the event itself is being held at Augusta Expo, which is a very huge building. But if you walk inside, it's broken down into 3 levels. You got your main mass floor, which is usually where they have held the, like the big outdoor Western shows, hunting, all them good shows. This same event, they've had, what's those Cajun guys that do the alligator show? The father and son. I can't remember their names.
I don't have cable TV, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, they've had well-known people there in the past. Over in the field next to there, this is where they have their monster truck shows every year. But yeah, again, the building is broken down into 3 levels. We actually got the smallest part, which holds up to 565 people. So I think that's pretty big enough for our first time event. So if it turns out successful, I mean, if it turns out to be pretty big, we'll go to a bigger level the following year. So because this is our first time event, we plan to continue this if it all, on hopes that it's going to work out great, which right now tickets have been selling. So it's looking really good right now. And, like I said, we got a good list of speakers lined up, and yeah, everything's falling into place. So and we got sponsors.
For the folks the folks that are listening on our end down here where Bill and I live, Bill, how far is it from your house to Waynes? Is it Waynesboro? Is where it's located?
Well, actually, the exact address is Fishersville, Virginia, which is basically right there next to Waynesboro. So it's right off of Interstate 64.
I had looked it up when you had asked me to possibly do an event this November, and just was too tied up. And I think, Daniel, I remember from Bristol, Virginia to the location, which I'm assuming was very near where you live, about 3.5, 4 hours. Was it 5 hours?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I thought it was.
Bad. I don't know.
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was like 3.5 to 4 hours. So, anyways,
I know from where I live down to Tracy's house, it takes me about a good 3 hours to get to Tracy's house because I've been down to Tracy's house before. So.
All right. Well, because Tracy from me is he's about an hour and a half away from me, so that would be about right. 3.5, 4 hours. Yeah, because Tracy's about an hour and a half from me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm at exit 7, and he's at exit 70 on the Interstate 81. If that tells you, so yeah.
Yeah, 80. What was it? 81, and then then you get the 77 or something. Is it Highway 77 down there that branches off? Yeah.
Yep.
I'm excited to hear Mr. Gerhard. I've seen a couple of his shows on TV. He's just he's an interesting guy. I can't wait to hear what he has to talk about.
And speaking of, because I'd heard, I'm assuming you still have Ron Moorhead coming.
Absolutely, Ken Gerhard and Ron Moorhead are my
I want
Big time.
to. I want to talk to him because his quantum Bigfoot and his Sierra sounds and stuff. He was one of those that I've checked out over being involved in this before the whole movie junk, and so yeah, I'd like to sit down and chat with him. So put me between the beer guys and Ron Moorhead, and we're good, man.
I'll make sure his table's next to the
There you go, man.
beer.
There you go. Yeah.
One thing I do know about Ron Moorhead, he will be, from what I understand, what I recall, he will be speaking regarding the Sierra Sounds. So he may even be playing that. I'm not sure, but he will be talking on the Sierra Sounds.
Well, Lord, that's one of the biggest things the man's known for, surely to goodness. I mean, that would be like Mickey Mouse showing up without Minnie Mouse, man.
I tell you what also is going to be interesting, too, is I need to get further confirmation. He did say that, but Ed Brown is one of our speakers. And Ed Brown, I believe, may be doing a live movie presentation. It's a movie. It's a documentary based off of true events. So which he'll be selling that there on site as well.
Cool.
So that should be very interesting. Yeah, I mean, all our lineup of speakers, they all will be bringing something very interesting to the table, and and MK Davis will be there. Yeah, we got some good people. Tracy Arnold's one of our speakers. Dr. Kimberly McGeorge. See what? Baltimore Galvan Jr.
Yeah, I look forward to meeting him.
That's going to be a great one right there. Listening to him speak, and I told him, I said, man, I hope you dress up in your gear, your outfit.
Really
come ready to butcher somebody up with something.
Yeah. No, that'd be great. Yeah.
Hey, come with your head so he can't take nothing off your scalp.
Yeah. Lord, I better hide all this stuff then. But
oh my, yeah.
Yeah, you got that right. Well, here's the good thing about it is I do have Cherokee in me, so that wouldn't be right of him to do that, because I say the only thing you can tell about me being Indian is my hair. The rest of me just doesn't look that. So.
well, maybe we'll all dressed up like Indians. We'll have feathers in their hair.
Yeah,
I have Micmac bloodline, which is the Native American. Well, a lot of them come out of Canada, and then a lot of them originated out of Maine. So, which
ours is yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, because when I first learned about that, I was like, man, do they have a Bigfoot legend? And of course, mostly every native tribe you look up, they have some kind of legend. Sure enough, they did. I mean, they have different name dialects for it, but which described a large, hairy, female-like beast that was known for being cannibalistic or kidnapping young children.
Yeah.
So, which was quite interesting.
That sounds like the West Coast version of the large female Sasquatch with the basket, and she puts the kids in the basket and takes them and eats them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question here on the live chat. I'm going to leave this up to you. This is a very common question. Why does the government want to cover up the existence of these creatures?
Who do you want to take that?
Well, the way I would actually respond to that is, first of all, are they even doing that? We don't have no proof of that. But if they are, I guess then that would be the following question. But I don't even know how to approach that one.
I'll tell you what I think, because I've kind of had the similar question asked to me before. I think if the government knows about it, and I'll be honest with you, I think they do. Mm-hmm. I think that's the reason we have the Department of Interior, and we have the Forest Service and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, goodness, this goes all the way back to Teddy Roosevelt. And even, in some of his biographies, talking about the encounters of the two guys with the Bigfoot, and one of them is killed and the other one seriously maimed and then not heard from and everything. And shortly thereafter, he creates the national park system, and all of a sudden you have the Department of Interior created, and a lot of lands become under the control of the government. Well, I think it's as simple as this. that was way back then, and there's been a lot of stuff happen, particularly around 67 with Patterson Gimlin really bringing the modern era of Bigfooting and everything. I think that the reason the government would have reason to cover it up is because they would not want to admit that, folks, we basically are living beside something history has denied. We told you Columbus was this one over here. Forget about the Native Americans. We don't want to talk about that. Columbus discovered America. They don't want to talk about the Vikings and you know, the red-haired giants and all this stuff like that that happened way before that. That they basically, I think it's one of those, call it a truce, a treaty, or whatever. But they basically set this National Park Service and Department of Interior up and everything to keep a separation. And I've told folks before, just go on Google Maps, Google Earth, and look at the United States and, you know, North America. And there's a whole lot more green than there is gray, gray being civilization. And because of our technology and we've been here long enough, we're encroaching on more deeper territory, and we're able to see stuff with, you know, night vision and infrared and FLIR and cameras on the trees and everything that we used to couldn't catch all of this stuff. And I think it's one of those, just like the UFO cover-up conspiracy, it would put the nation into shock if they said, listen, David Pallades had it right. There's something taking people in the forest, and the National Park Service isn't recording it because they don't want you to know about it and don't want to kill, you know, logging industry and $1 million park industry and everything. And so I think it's it would scare the crap out of the people, and it would take money out of government entities' pockets. And I think that's the reason for it. The best reason why I think they do know, because there's just enough encounters. And I mean, one of the things I found when I was doing the research for this movie, and subsequently some of the guys from M.E.C.R.O were talking about it here a few weeks ago, and there was actually in Oregon or Washington State, there's an Army atlas that literally has a hand-drawn picture of a Sasquatch, and it has Sasquatch sightings and everything, and it basically tells you how to handle it and this, that, and the other. Well, that right there is you know, the I think it was the Army Corps of Engineers or whatever, basically admitting in a document that probably was never, it was done in the 70s, never intended to be viewed by folks like me and you. But if you've got stuff like that out there that they're telling these folks that are in the field doing these works in these mountains and everything, well, you know, stuff like that kind of keeps leaking out, you know. Have the whole, you know, the government discrediting folks. And you can't tell, Daniel. I mean, they can be people, what you call trolls and stuff, and you think it's just somebody being a, you know, being a butthole on your channel or whatnot, but they're actually put there because they're out there to make you look like an idiot and you don't know what you're talking about and everything. So people don't take you serious. I mean, because I'll be honest with you, I've not had to fool with that until this weekend. And I noticed some of the stuff that I had posted and shared that got shared, using some other things. There were some negative comments, and basically don't help these guys, you know, and they were making fun of what we were doing involved in. And you know, to me, that's just one of those, you continually make it look like it's a silly fairy tale subject. And I think a lot of that is by design, because I think they have some disinformation. I know that's a long answer, and I'm really long-winded, and I don't like to talk, and I'm really shy, but you know, anyways.
Oh no, you're fine. You're actually bringing up some great points, because one thing you mentioned, and actually I seen on the live chat, you know, as far as the someone brought up the owl, well, the spotted owl to be exact,
Right.
which was discovered back in 1981, and you look what happened there when that discovered, it became a class. You know, they called it declared it endangered species.
Sanctuary. Yeah.
And then the whole logging industry shut down for that period, you know, and you know, of course, there goes the economy.
Right. Yeah. And then the whole spotted owl theory. Yep.
Yep, and then you hit it right on, the head on the nail. I mean, the nail right on the head where you said, as far as the outrage or the chaos it could create, it could hurt the economy for, if the national forest, if this became widely known, people are going to start going to spend money to go into these parks and all this. The other thing is too, I know right here in Virginia, I mean, I'm sure other states are more receptive to it, but the mountain lion, I've seen one.
Yeah.
There's several reports of people have seen them right here in the surrounding counties up by where I live. I've gotten reports from down your way. When I made a blog and I posted in a few of the local Virginia hunting groups, and I had people responding through email and commenting under my blog. I mean, one individual who had seen him on a couple of occasions running on the fields in his property reported it and reported to the Department of Game and Inland Fisheries. And what was told to him was like, that was almost not a surprise. Where they told him, you didn't see what you said to ESR. There's no such thing. So, and then the Virginia Department of Game and Inland Fisheries is saying, well, we're not getting the reports. Yeah, they get reports. They're just not documenting it. Or, of course, they're not doing it publicly, So, I mean, and, they don't want people to know this stuff,
On the Shady Valley side of Holston Mountain, where I used to hunt at, there was a friend and his father, who has since passed. The father has, but he hunted up there, Danny, and he had talked about at least twice of seeing what basically he called a jaguar, a black cat, a big black cat, Black Panther, but he called it a jaguar. And that's up where I hunt, and that was basically kind of over from the South Holston Mountain over into Iron Mountain, over in that part of it. But I've heard of that too. I absolutely wouldn't want to run into one of those at all, because that's something that even in the the Pacific Northwest and Southern California, those things will kind of stalk you and jump off a trail right on you, because that's what they do. That's so.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't want to. I'd rather run into a bear where I hunt than I would a mountain lion or jaguar, because that's something that's going to try and eat you. A bear just doesn't want to be around you.
Yeah, I've had several encounters with black bears, which they're usually going the other way. By the time you notice them, they've already noticed and smelled you. But as far as that's exactly what I seen was a black cat. And of course, there's several names like jaguar, puma, cougar, so forth. And some have claimed to seen I guess you could call it like the yellowish color, whatever the common color, and I mean, I've got tracks, that's part of my collection, from that I found 2 miles from where I had a sighting. And it was about 2 years ago, me and Dad were hunting. Well, actually, it was last hunting season. And where me and him were stationed, I wasn't too far away from him, but right where he was, he thought it was me playing games. I said, no, I wouldn't be playing games, especially when we're out hunting. But what he described, he heard a growl. He was like, it was a guttural type sound. And it started off low, then it got a little louder. And he looked at it, didn't see nothing. He said he started looking up in the trees and didn't see nothing. I said, well, that's weird, because, something totally different. Because where I was, I said, Dad, I thought you were walking behind me. I said, I had a tree knock behind me. And from where I was, where he was, supposedly this was happening somewhere between us, but where he heard that growl that he described, well, just behind him, if you walk through the woods out to the forest road, is where the cat crossed road. So, is it maybe it could have been working that area? I don't know.
Yeah, no. While we were out there hunting a few times, I had heard some guttural kind of growls, but then I realized I was hunting and I was eating beanie weenies for lunch, so.
Yeah, I think I've been there too. Oh man, I gotta plug my phone up. There we go. All right. Oh, whoops. There we go. All right. Tell you what, we've actually had some pretty good discussion tonight here. I'm just browsing on the live chat. Tell you what, we're getting ready to come to a close, unfortunately, because normally I would keep going, but actually tomorrow I got to get up early. They want us in early. So yeah, even though I try to go to bed early, I have trouble going to bed early because I'm not an early person. But um, do you guys have any last statements or anything you guys want to throw out there before we jump off?
I as soon as I get a chance, I'll post up the link to the Cave Crew show that I'll be on Thursday night at 9. I'm supposed to be on around 9:30, 9:40, and as soon as I get the details, I'll share that. I did want to throw in that I think I shared with you the part 1 and part 2 interview from Kingsport Times News they did with me, and throwing out some credible groups and whatnot. I happened to throw out the E.C.B.R.O on there, so that was kind of a thank you back for a lot of the sharing that you've done there.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
The more I've gotten to know you and watching your research and everything, I felt comfortable putting a little plug there. So if you happen to see that and it's not made it up there, it was a good little 2-part short interview. Part of it was about the movie, and part of it was just about the Patterson Gimlin and whatnot in general. Anyways, I think that's oh, I know the last thing I was actually supposed to remind, especially you and your folks, is that Saturday I will be at New River Valley Community College for the NRCC Con 04. It'll be their 4th Comic-Con up there, and I believe his name is Gary Bryant, the guy who's running the show. I had met him in Galax at Con, which Glenn Paul Richardson, Subject of Sasquatch creator, runs that show. And when I was up there, I was asked to come up to NRCC 04 in New River Community College, New River Valley Community College. And so I'll be up there Saturday. I'll have a table set up. I'll have my trailer playing on a widescreen, and then I'll be speaking for about an hour about the movie. And then they actually want me to talk some about the drone and how I use it and whatnot, since I've become involved in it. And so anyways, some of your folks and maybe even yourself or whatever, I won't be far from you up there at New River Valley Community College. I believe it's like 10 to 6 this coming Saturday. So I think that's about all I can say. I'm going to shut up so Sam can talk.
Awesome. Thank you for that information.
The only thing that, check us out at Mountain Empire Cryptid Research Organization on Facebook. And also same thing on YouTube, and also Darth Bill 68 on YouTube for the Bigfoot BS. So yeah, just a great show tonight, and excited for future events. So we're not going to stop here. We're going to do some seminars in some other cities, just as M.E.C.R.O sponsored seminars, along with other groups as well and organizations that we're going to bring in to speak. So somebody like yourself, Daniel, we'll bring in to speak with us. So looking forward to that. Thank you guys. Yeah, very much.
And you guys should get maybe you guys should pick on Tracy because he's on the live chat. I sent him the link to join in with us, so he never came on with us. So
no, I tell you what, it was awesome to have Tracy down there. He was sitting with us. He actually spoke about his encounter and whatnot. And Tracy even got interviewed by the WCYB while he was down there, mainly about the gear and whatnot that he's using, because he had brought a bunch of his gear and cameras that he uses and equipment and everything. Anyways, it's always good to see the Sasquatch Outlaw. He's become a good friend, and I've got to go up and interview him in one of his areas close to his sighting and where he's camped at. And just a real good, credible guy. Another one of those I've run into that just gives me no reason to think this man is not telling you the truth. Big shout out to Tracy. And of course, he's also become a friend like yourself, that when we put this stuff up about what's going on in our area, or with the Bigfoot BS, or with the cultured Bigfoot, he also shares back and forth. So, and it's one of those things between yourself and him and several other groups. You've got to be able to work together and share like this, and not not eat each other alive.
Absolutely. And I think what you guys are doing as far as pulling people together like you guys are, I think you guys are doing an amazing thing. And I'm all about, I'm a big supporter about what you guys are doing, because as far as what you guys are doing, and I'm a big thing about, I have a big thing, and people hear me repeat it and say it all the time, about spreading awareness. And it's not just about who we are, but it's about what we're doing, and how we're presenting, you know, our research, or our way of trying to reveal truth. I know we could tell people everything we can till we're blue in the face, but there's so many different there's so many different tools that we can use for spreading awareness. And especially what you guys are doing, the documentary, the seminars, the conferences, these are all tools that we can use to help spread awareness. And that's the one thing I kind of preach on about a lot. And yeah, I do it a lot about based off of the ECBRO too. But I try to reach out to other people, getting others involved in whatever way possible. So it's a good thing that you guys are doing this, and I'm proud to help contribute in any way, shape, or form. So
Well, I appreciate that, and likewise.
Yeah, likewise, for sure.
So, all right. Tracy Arnold. Oh, okay. Tracy was like, I just got back in about 20 minutes ago. Sorry. I said, it's okay, Tracy. I was just picking. He said, LOL, I know. Awesome. Man, I like I said, I wish we could go on further. I really do. I love to continue the chat. We've had several people on here tonight, and hopefully they subscribe to Darth Bill 68.
What?
No, not Bart Simpson. Darth Bill 68. And tell you what, Darth Bill, I'll get your name mixed up. I'm trying to address you now. But Bill, probably a couple months, probably prior to before I go to watch it in theaters, because I love Star Wars myself. I like to get your thoughts and theories on some of the plots and theories, because I've been following all these. Yeah, I've been watching and following all these YouTube channels that I'm subscribed to with and
this last trailer, I've got some thoughts, and I'd be happy to throw some of those out there, because I think I've figured out one of the big plot lines there.
Yeah, I hope. All I can say is I hope good becomes of Ray, because you know what, she's got my heart. She's a cutie, but I like in the Force Awakens how she comes about, and it was cool how things happen. You could see, she had powers that she was never trained for, and she discovers it out on her own. So it's interesting right there. So
no, you do an E.C.B.R.O. Star Wars talk here, and we'll throw down there before the movie comes out, and then we'll see who's right and wrong.
All right, yeah, that's a good one, because because I know the next 2 months I got movies I plan to go see. Me and my daughter, we're going to be seeing the Justice League coming up next month, and then Star Wars in December.
You'll have to get Richter to be involved in that, because me and Richter chat regularly about Star Wars, because we're both big Star Wars geeks. So we literally, each time a trailer or something comes out, he messages me or I'll message him. We talk more about Star Wars than we do Bigfoot.
Hey, that would make a very good show. I've had Richter on here several times in the past. So
yeah, he's great. He's just like I am. He's eat up with useless knowledge on it and theories, and so especially over this last one, we had a good conversation about it. He'd be a good one to get on there.
Okay. Awesome. Well, there, ladies and gentlemen, you have anyone who is interested in Star Wars. I think we're pretty much will be having a Star Wars episode here on our Bigfoot channel here.
There you go.
98.
Hey, Daniel, listen, man. Who was the original Bigfoot that we all loved? It was a Wookiee. named Chewbacca. And see, we already know the deal. The Wookiees are from a planet called Kashyyyk, and basically Han Solo and him got stuck in when they went into basically light speed, and they crash landed in the Pacific Northwest. And basically, you have a lot of missed sightings. It's actually Wookiees that they're seeing and not Bigfoots. And there's actually a comic out there, a one-shot comic that tells that story, and it's freaking awesome, man.
Wait a minute, is it anything to do with the Olympic project and their video footage?
No.
No, okay.
No. I think this was.
Okay.
I think it was a Dark Horse comic. Yeah, but anyways, yeah. I mean, how could I not? Besides liking the $6 Million Man fighting with Bigfoot and Leonard Nimoy on In Search of and Patterson Gimlin footage. Here, in '77, I'm 7, 8 years old, and you see a Bigfoot as another creature, an alien. So who knows? Maybe Dr. Johnson's got it right. They're actually Wookiees stepping through time portals.
Oh no! Wow. Well, may the force be with him.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm glad you guys on the live chat are enjoying this. So one comment says Star Wars and Squatch.
Yep.
So, well, be on the lookout for that episode.
Yeah.
So, coming. Hear you.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Well, guys, thank you guys very much. It's time for us to jump off here, and
all right.
For those of us who got to get to bed, are you guys in Eastern time right now? Where you guys are at?
Yeah, we're the same time zone as you. Yep.
Okay, I wasn't sure about Sam because I know it depends on what part of Tennessee you're in. It's Central time, so
yeah, you got to get towards Nashville before it's Central time. So we're in your time zone. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not subscribed to E.C.B.R.O 98, Sasquatch Outlaw, Darth Bill 68, and go check out Porch Talk with Shaky, which is now called. Hold on, I think he changed it. Porch Talk with Shaky, I think it's called now. Yeah.
Dan Lindholm's producing it now. Yeah. It's actually, it sounds really sharp. I've got to listen to the first one. Also, don't forget Sam has officially got a M.E.C.R.O channel, and it is on YouTube. M.E.C.R.O. Okay. That's right, isn't it, Sam? M.E.C.R.O. Is he there?
Oops. Yeah, he's there, but he's muted. Sam, we can't hear you.
All right. Yeah. Anyways, I'll just tell you. Yeah, M.E.C.R.O actually has a YouTube channel, and it is M.E.C.R.O. So, anyways, he's actually started posting some stuff up there, and he's actually going to start sharing some of the Bigfoot BS episodes there. Also, I'll have them on mine, but he's going to share them over there too.
All right, cool. I just put that in the on the live chat. M.E.C.R.O. Yeah, M.E.C.R.O. I call it M.E.C.R.O. Kind of like E.C.B.R.O. Sometimes I pronounce it. I tell people E.C.B.R.O. So yeah. All right.
I always say it's M.E.C.R.O.
Oh, okay. There you go.
M.E.C.R.O. Anyways.
Yeah, because we got E.C.B.R.O.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, because a lot of people ask. I will say this before we jump off here. A lot of people ask me because on my main E.C.B.R.O. group, it's spelled out what the E.C.B.R.O. stands for, which is the East Coast Bigfoot Researchers Organization. Now, over the years, we actually, our awareness of who we are, people wanting to become members. These are a lot of people follow and represent us outside the East Coast, which has been amazing. People out in the Midwest, out to the West, watch and follow us. We've had people down in Australia, and all the way out in Romania. I can't remember her last name, but Doriana, she's a big follower of the E.C.B.R.O. She's bought T-shirts from us before, which is awesome. And and then like I said, I don't know if I mentioned Canada. We've had people up in Canada wanting follow us. But yeah, I mean we are the East Coast Bigfoot Research Organization, but our research, for those who are willing to partake in our research, program, please feel free. We welcome you guys with open arms. But I personally, my main focus here is pretty much in the state of Virginia. I've researched outside the state myself in the past. Right now, funding has not permitted it in a while. So, but the farthest I get right now is West Virginia on the most part, because my main research area runs into West Virginia, and I've been taken into other locations in West Virginia. I got reports to follow up on that run into West Virginia. So, and the reports just miles north of me, right from where I live, straight up north from me. Because I tell you what, the Blue Ridge Parkway is booming with reports and information right now. So we got an upcoming investigation that we got going on coming soon. So that's something we're looking forward to. We got a group of guys. I know we got one of our guys from Maryland coming down. I know I got 2 locals here. They'll be joining me. So should be pretty interesting. So we had to postpone it. We were going to do it this past weekend. We had to postpone it because one of them couldn't attend. So I wanted to make sure everyone could be there. So we'll be rescheduling that hopefully soon, maybe in a couple of weeks. So we'll see how that turns out.
Well, I've had enough. I've had enough funds to check out the backyard pretty good, and other than a few rabbits, squirrels, and a couple old dogs running around, I've not had any Bigfoot activity in the backyard. But that's as far as I've been able to check
out. Yeah, this past weekend, I did some camping this past weekend over there, not far from here, in my main research area, and I didn't really do much exploring. I'd done some, but nothing was found. I just mainly kept it simple and relaxed around the camp and enjoyed my time out there by myself. So, but I go out camping quite a bit. Of course, this time of year, the bow hunters are out there, and guys got their dogs with them right now, and so it was a little busy out there this past weekend. So I don't like it when there's too many other people out there. So
yeah.
But besides that, it was nice getting out there in the outdoors. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, you guys have a good night, and